Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8:01 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Friday, the 29th of September. The month has gone by very quickly, and we have a great show for you guys today as the weekend approaches. We have our friends of the Aurora Historical Society here on the show. I hope that you guys like the new feel of the show and the new direction that the show has taken. We're going to learn a lot from our friends today about the upcoming events at the Aurora Historical Society, the cool books that you can find there, and also some of the great events as well displayed here. I have with me my dear friends Ruby Sue and John Jaros on the show. How you guys feeling today?
I feel great. It's a beautiful morning.
All right.
In
Me as
Aurora.
well.
Okay, absolutely. It is a great morning. We're glad to have you guys on the show. Your second time, and John, your very first.
Yes, sir.
So awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Please let us know how you feel in the chat this morning, and shout out to everybody. So we're gonna talk first about the Tanner House tours by candlelight that are going on Saturdays and
Fridays
and Saturdays.
okay, Fridays and Saturdays all this month. Tell us about those.
Well,
You go first.
I go. Okay. Well, it's that season when people like to get out and do maybe some spooky things.
Okay.
And so for the whole month of October, we're opening up our historic Tanner House Museum. It's an old house that was inhabited by a family, the Tanner family. It was built in 1857, and it's a beautiful architectural specimen, and you really get the feel of Victorian life, furnished as it would have been when the Tanners lived there. And people will have an opportunity to come in every weekend, Friday and Saturday evenings. We'll have 2 shows per evening. Well, they're not really shows, but they're 2 opportunities for people to come in and actually view the house as no one has viewed it before, really by candlelight. Now, not actual candles, because we have some fire regulations.
That sounds like a show to me, though.
It'll be
That sounds like a show.
dimly lit. You'll
Okay.
be able to pretty much have the run of the house. We have a few docents that will be around to answer questions if need be, but people will be able to explore the home themselves
Okay.
in spooky, dark
Yes.
atmosphere.
Okay.
And
Now, are you guys going to be giving the tours there as well? You'll be part of them?
well, we'll be part of them.
I will be there for every single one except for
Yeah.
one
Okay.
date. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Historical Society has never done an event like this before.
Okay.
Traditionally, we've done a really wonderful event every October called Death Comes to Tanner House.
Okay.
That has been a lot of fun and educational. And this year, we're just mixing it up a little bit with something spooky.
Okay.
And everyone does need to get their tickets ahead of time. We're doing no tickets at the door.
All right.
We already have some sold out shows.
Okay. And they can go to aurorahistory.org/October.
Yes.
And get your tickets for that. So here's what the flyer looks like, you guys. Really good. Shout out to Hoof and Horn and then French 75 and other great supporters of this fantastic event. All right. And Tanner House is on the west side. It's a really nice house.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Great style, great feel to it.
Yeah, we're in a residential neighborhood, just 2 blocks west of Lake Street and 2 blocks north of New York Street,
Okay.
on the corner of Oak and Cedar. And I think this will be a great opportunity for people. We say tour, but essentially you'll be getting an introduction, 5-10 minute introduction, and then your tour is on your own.
Okay.
And people get to interact with the house. We're just going to have, I believe it is five slots per
It's just a few.
Yeah, so there
Well,
won't be any more than 10 people in visitors roaming each time, and then we'll have some things on the outside as well. And do we want to say the little special thing?
Oh, you want to say the special thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know the special thing.
Okay.
Well, so also for the first time ever and possibly the last, ticketed guests are allowed the use of EMF readers that we're letting them borrow for the night.
Okay.
That they can go throughout the house and just have fun.
Okay, very interesting. So you guys really want to get your tickets for this. Don't forget aurorahistory.org/October. Get your tickets. That sounds like a fun night. That sounds like a really cool night.
It is going to be so fun, and I do want to add, we have some really generous anonymous sponsors that we're grateful for, and Hoof and Horn has been wonderful, and they're a super fun shop as well, and they're providing us with cider. And French 75 is going to have a special Tanner House beverage that they're announcing.
All right.
And the ticketed guests get to go on show nights and get 20% off of the drink.
Okay. All right. So there's an amazing savings and a benefit for you guys. And if you haven't been to French 75 yet, that's a fantastic place located on Galena right next to Fast Print, Aurora Fast Print.
It's so gorgeous.
Great place. Hope and Braden get the shout out. Now, the Historical Society has 2 locations. People are familiar with the Tanner House, corner of Oak and Cedar, as you mentioned. But then there's also the David L. Pierce Center right downtown, 20 East Downer Place, Pierce Art and History Center, including the museum store and the permanent exhibit gallery, Aurora Story. And then we've got our changing exhibits up here, too, as well. So let's talk about this one first. Ruby, can you tell us about this one?
Here Comes the Bride is one of my favorite exhibits that we've had, and John did a wonderful job with it. It's so well curated. It's sponsored by Woolsfeld's. Shout out to them.
Woolsfeld's Bridal.
Yes, fantastic. There's just so many gorgeous gowns from Aurora brides throughout different decades.
Yes, we have about almost 30 historic wedding dresses on display, and they're all from the Aurora Historical Society collections. And they date from the earliest one is 1853, and it was worn by the wife of Aurora's founder, Samuel McCarty.
Really?
And his third wife, by the way, because back in those days, being a woman, that was a hard life, and a lot of times you didn't survive. But Mrs. McCarty's dress, and then the newest one we have is from 1976, so not that new. Although Woolsfeld's has given us a little array, a nice bridal dress of the current era. They put together a nice little display with a bride, a bridesmaid.
There's the most gorgeous gown with crystals and feathers. It's amazing. Have you been to the exhibit yet?
No, I haven't.
Putting the pressure on.
I have not. I will come to the
Well, you have
exhibit.
only about 1 week left. We've extended this exhibit 2 different times, and this is
it's so popular.
The final extension. But it closes October 7th, which is a week from Saturday. A week from tomorrow. So we're open at the Pierce Center on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from noon to 4, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. But we're also open on First Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m. So this next First Friday on October 6th will be the last First Friday to see this exhibit.
Please go out there on this next upcoming First Friday to see this fantastic exhibit. The oldest wedding dress is from 1853. The most recent, 1976. Wow. All right.
It's going to be a quiz. I'm going to ask you which is your favorite.
So check this out for your homework. Learn here. Good morning to you guys if you're just joining us. Vicky Moore, good morning to you. Amy Dermott, good morning. Vera Hall, good morning to you. Norma Peterson, Jennifer Ryan Mayton, and Jimmy Clark. Good morning to all of you fantastic people. The time is 8:11 a.m. Now, the next one that we have, what's this one that we have here? Oh, this is the candlelight tours. Okay. So let's talk about you guys a little bit. What's it like with immersing yourselves and being immersed in all this fantastic Aurora history? And how can folks present or donate things that they feel could be a lasting impact and teach folks about Aurora and history?
Well, sure. Well, it's great to be a part of. I feel like we're a part of history when we're interacting with the history. The Historical Society has actually been in existence since 1906. Oh wow! So we have become really the place that keeps the community's treasures, historic treasures, and we have materials. Documentary materials that date back to the 1830s, which is the founding era of Aurora. Right. We have photographs dating back to the 1850s, which is when the first photographers came to Aurora. Wow. And then we have three-dimensional artifacts of all kinds, from small little things from little buttons and pins to larger things like a motorcycle that was made here in Aurora in 1910, and a railroad hand car, the thing that you pump up and down.
You mean like the cartoons?
Yes, exactly. And we do have one of those.
Now that's a show and tell episode.
and if you come to the Pierce Center downtown, which I should say is 20 East Downer, it's a building that's owned by the city of Aurora, but we're fortunate to share the building. The Historical Society is in there, and also the Aurora Public Art Commission, another great organization in town.
Jen Evans gets the shout out as well.
She's amazing.
She is.
And I think it might be Byrne now, Jen Byrne, but...
That's right. I'm scratch it up. We don't have to scratch anymore. You're right. It is Jen Byrne. Yeah. That's just how old I am.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have, as I say, the first floor gallery is changing exhibits, and we've already talked about the Here Comes the Bride wedding exhibit. The second floor gallery is called the Aurora Story. It's a permanent exhibit of Aurora history, and that's where you can see the Thor motorcycle, the railroad handcar, and a number of other great Aurora things. And so we have a lot of things we've been collecting for many years. We don't have a lot of staff. I'm one of the few paid staff people, so we rely on volunteers. Was that too personal there?
As personal as volunteering every day.
we rely on volunteers, and we're very fortunate to have a really good core of volunteers that help us out with all our events and some of our day-to-day operations. You had asked about materials. Yes, we are always still interested in obtaining more materials about Aurora, but we've had to become very selective because, over the years we've acquired a lot of things, but we haven't expanded a lot in space.
Sure.
Our space keeps getting more crowded, and so if you have something that you feel is worthy Aurora history, we would like to hear about it. You can contact us at the Pierce Art and History Center. When we're open, you can come down and talk to myself or our gift shop manager, Scott. He usually helps with that, and then we'll determine whether something, if we have 6 of the particular item, we're probably not interested in it, but yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there's things we have a lot of versus things we need, like dishes? We maybe have a lot of dishware, but maybe photographs?
Well, here's the thing.
Let's put out a call to folks if I'd be interested in doing that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we have. We have a lot of furniture. We don't need a lot of old furniture anymore. We have a house full with the Tanner House, and we have things in storage. Most museums have collection storage, and we have that, and so we don't need a lot of furniture. We don't need a lot of clothing. We have lots and lots of that. Well, you see the wedding dresses. I said we've got almost 30 on display, and that wasn't even all the dresses in the collection. We still had about a half a dozen more wedding dresses that we didn't put out. And so, we don't need a lot of clothing, but anytime there's, photographic images of Aurora from all eras, that's important to keep. And those are, unique images usually. And so we're always interested in more of that. We're interested in select things, like we do save the school yearbooks.
Okay.
So East High, West High. We've got a lot of the East and West, but we don't have so much of the Marmion and Rosary. So maybe we could use some of those. And
if anyone has a Marmion or a Rosary yearbook, contact the Aurora Historical Society. That'd be some interesting history to maintain and show others. That'd be really cool. Now let's talk about the books. You brought 2 books today, and because I love to read, they caught my eye. The first one being True Tales of Aurora, Illinois by Matt Hanley. Right here, I want to show you guys this book. This book is really cool. I immediately went in and looked at the table of contents, and I have to tell you guys, there's some amazing stories in here. I'm going to read just from the back. The truth about Aurora, Illinois isn't stranger than fiction. It's just more interesting. Check in on visits from Orville, Wright, Casey Stengel, John Dillinger, and JFK. Discover what happened to the man who recorded a landmark blues song in Aurora's tallest tower, and how a boy born in the city's poorest neighborhood went on to play for the Chicago Bears, and Matt Hanley's fascinating collection of stories. Great stuff. And they can get this at the museum?
Yeah, when you come down to the Pierce Center, as you enter, just on your left is the museum shop, where we have dozens of titles and all kinds of other things. But these are, you're showing the first and another of our 2 most popular or best-selling ones. The True Tales. Matt Hanley was a great reporter for the Beacon News, and compiled a lot of these stories while he was a reporter, and then later they were collected and put into a book form. Great book, a great read, a lot of neat stories in there.
Okay. And the next one being Haunted Aurora, and on the cover of this is the now St. Charles home.
It was the St. Charles Hospital.
St. Charles Hospital.
And now it's a retirement.
That I live right around the corner from. Discover the bizarre and haunted story that waits in the shadows of the City of Lights. This is a great sentence here. Aurora was the first Illinois city to have electric streetlights, but a dark history has resisted illumination as stubbornly as the chilly corner of the old roundhouse repels the summer heat. Goodness. If that don't make you want to read it, boy, I tell you, that's really good.
I do want to add that
Please.
If you like deals like I do, our members get 10% off in our gift shop.
Okay.
Books and whatever, clothing, bobbleheads of the mayor.
Yes, you guys do have the bobbleheads in there. Yeah.
They're quite popular.
Yep. I like the gift shop area in downtown, and a friend, Perry Slade.
Oh,
his
yes.
imagery. He is a dear friend, and his son and I went to high school together.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Yep. Ramsey Slade. Yeah, they're a fantastic family. But his artwork, his photography, is in there too. So I encourage everyone to go into the David L. Pierce Art and History Center. It's right down the street from us right now. It's a great place, and you guys have a lot of good events that happen up there too. So First Friday is coming up, and that's the last First Friday to see the Here Comes the Bride exhibit. And then can we preview some, can you tell us some future stuff? Let us know what else is coming up. What else should people be aware of?
Well, we have a couple of things. First of all, I think we want to say at the Tanner House, after you come for October's candlelight tours, which, as you said, everybody wants to come to that. So then we'll close for a little while, and then during November, we have decorators that come in and decorate the whole house. Different people take different rooms, and for the month of December, then we reopen for Tanner House holidays.
Oh, no.
And the house is beautifully decorated. It's really my favorite time of the year to see the house, because it really shows well.
It shines.
And do you want to say any of the people that might be decorating?
I do. We have the new business Cornucopia Tea Shop is decorating the dining room.
Okay, on Broadway,
Yes.
right next to the big city services building. That's right.
Absolutely
Okay.
gorgeous gift shop.
All right.
And we have Yellowbird Books, which will be our brand new bookstore downtown.
Okay.
Decorating the library.
All right. We're getting a new
Yes.
bookstore downtown.
We are. It's so exciting. It's next to If These Walls Could Talk.
If
is-
These Walls Could Talk, Stolp.
Yes.
Aha, very cool. What a great street to have a bookstore on, too.
It's such a gorgeous building, and it's just, she has such great taste in
Yeah,
books. So.
that's the Keystone Building. Is that the Keystone
It is the
Building?
Keystone Building.
Okay.
Yeah, and Karen is absolutely amazing. So we
Um,
have those decorators
Mhm.
and some other amazing people coming in. And this year we're adding people can buy hot cocoa or gingerbread cookies.
Okay.
And
Well,
there's photos with Santa.
Yeah, but that's
At
on
Tanner
the
House?
on the opening day.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Right.
Yeah, which will be will open up on Saturday, December the 2nd.
Okay.
And then after that will be open on Sunday afternoons from 1 to 4, starting on the 3rd, and Friday evenings from 4 to 7 in the evening.
Okay. All right.
And you can come in and vote for your favorite room.
Very cool.
People's Choice Award.
People's Choice Award. The time is 8:22. I'd like to get from you guys a sense of, because you guys have, I mean, in the store are books about the true tales of Aurora, which can take a reader back to a different era in time. You guys both see pictures of different times of Aurora. We talk about the dresses, and you can actually touch and feel a different era of Aurora. So
Well,
I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
We don't want people touching the
No,
dresses.
no,
okay?
we don't. But just talking about like
you can
what
feel
you
it
guys
this way.
see. Yeah. You can't try the dresses on.
Okay,
do not
but
do that.
But and when we touch things, we try to wear gloves.
Right. But I wonder, what's you guys' sense of the spirit of the city? What have we come from, and where are we now?
Ooh, that is a great question. I don't have the full perspective because I'm not a lifelong Auroran,
Sure.
but when I see the older pictures of the thriving downtown, and the department store, and this downtown Aurora being the spot for Christmas time with the old classic cars, what would you say, 40s, 1940s?
40s and 50s.
Yeah,
it looks
those
like that.
decades were good.
And then there was just, let's call it a sleepy time.
Sure.
For downtown Aurora, and there's this great resurgence now. So I think we've kind of come full circle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an exciting time.
I think Aurora has always had kind of a communal feeling. I look at it. So Aurora has been many things over the years. Aurora has always been a melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had many different immigrant groups that have come in and helped build and flavor the city with their own traditions and food and things like that. And even since the 1840s, this has been happening, so that there's been different groups coming in, and Aurora has continued to be that way. Aurora was always a hard-working community. We had many, many, many factories from the earliest days, and not as many today, obviously, but it was a working class community, a community of a lot of churches, always a great commercial center, and I think Ruby pointed out the downtown was just vibrant with commerce, so many shops, theaters, banks, everything.
Yeah.
And I think what she points to is, I know from personal experience, I grew up in Chicago, and when I came to Aurora, it was the mid-1980s. So, almost 40 years ago, not quite. And things were pretty depressed. A lot of the factories had left, closed down. A lot of the downtown businesses had closed, the long-time
Right.
shops that people frequented. And there was kind of a general a malaise or a negativity. And I came in and I saw, what I saw was so much the great architecture in downtown and the great feel of history. I thought, wow, this is really something. And there were many ideas to turn the downtown around and bring it back. And little by little, the riverboats came in and provided a little bit, but I think that the turnaround has really happened, in the last decade or
especially
a little,
the last 5 or 6 years.
a little
Yeah.
more, where you really see the downtown really coming alive. And I think that many factors, certainly the city government, the city economic development people bringing actively bringing places in, and it's really I think it's really coming alive. I think there's a great future. You see all the new commerce and the new living spaces that have come into the center of the city and the downtown, and I think we're going to see the next 10 and 20 years are really going to be a renaissance. I think we're already in it, but
Yeah.
I think you'll really see that.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen the pictures of what you described, Ruby, like packed streets, the dining cars. Different folks. Vicky Moore, who that history
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
I love
Looking on there, yeah, she's awesome.
Aurora,
Looking on
yeah.
there, you can see just the bustling flavor of it all. And then, I wasn't around for its, decline, but I did see the decline. There was none of that. Now, when you go through downtown on the first Friday, you gotta honk. 'Cause there's so many people.
it's a lot.
It's exactly. Don't drive. Right. Go out there. Even continuing the very next day on Saturdays for the farmers market kind of thing. So I'd like to have that perspective, because I know you guys see, or see in the pictures the changing of the times and how things kind of ebb and flow here locally. I think that's really cool. Time is 8:28 a.m. Tracy Duran is here. Good morning, Tracy. Daniel Calderon, Aisha Saxon, Saul Olivas. Tracy says, good morning and happy Friday. So exciting to see John, Jaros, and Ruby Sue B. I agree with that, Tracy, very much so. Viso Arts, good
Tracy.
morning to you guys. Tracy says, I fully agree. The community back in the day was so proud of all the products that were produced and manufactured, and now that pride of hometown businesses is back, which is great. Josie Mendoza Geller, Jen Mendoza, good morning to you guys too. Yeah, that's really cool. One thing I'll share with folks, I learned a lot about the independent spirit of Aurora by coming to the Historic Society and seeing some of the things that you guys have there. I found out there that Aurora had a brewing company. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Before coming, I had no idea we had a brewing company way back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then the young guy Andy, A-Town Andy, Aurora Andy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like our own indigenous logo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I encourage everybody to go to the David O. Pierce Art and History Center, 20 East Downer Place. And then also don't forget William Tanner House Museum, Oak and Cedar is the site of Tanner House tours by candlelight, Fridays and Saturdays, all the month of October. If you want to learn more, aurorahistory.org/October is the place to be. And please don't forget about the Here Comes the Bride exhibit taking place through October 7th.
Yes.
October 7th. You will see a lot, and sponsored by Wolfsfeld Bridal. That name's always kind of a tongue twister, but I did it. I did it pretty good. Not too bad. So the time is 8:30. We are going to show you guys something very amazing for the next half of the show here. Recently, well, you guys know that Good Morning Aurora has come a long way in 3 years. I dug up some interesting footage of a great moment of learning for myself. As you guys know, I like a good story. I like a good heartfelt story, and I like anything that I can learn from. We interviewed a very interesting man once upon a time, and he had a tattoo on his arm that I was just so fascinated about. So the whole time we're interviewing, I'm looking at that tattoo. And he's a busy guy. So when the interview was over, I asked him, listen, do you got another 5 minutes or so to tell me about that? I really want to know. He said, yeah, I'll tell you about it. So that's the footage that we're going to show for you guys today. I want to thank our guests one more time of the Aurora Historical Society, my dear friend Ruby Subi, and my new friend John Jaros. They're fantastic people. Please get to know the Aurora Historical Society. And if you'd like to volunteer or get involved, your website is once again aurorahistory.org. Now to that footage. Tell us about that tattoo, the bee.
The bee? All right, so I was a beekeeper up until April of 2019, where I took 2 stingers to the knee. I was not even in front of my hives. My tongue went numb, my heart rate shot up to 225, and all of my tattoos got raised, and I was no longer allowed to be a beekeeper, because if I died because of bees, my wife would kill me.
Was that your first time being stung?
Nope. I would get stung multiple times a day. It wasn't a big deal. But I got hit with a bald-faced hornet on the temple. And I went into full-on anaphylaxis. But if nobody ever tells you, your butt starts to itch, your palm starts to itch, you start sweating from places you didn't know sweat could come out of. And my heart rate shot up, my whole face got swollen. Got to get a ride by the lovely Aurora Fire Department from my pharmacy over to Mercy. And they did 3 doses of epinephrine in the ambulance. And I had to do a whole bunch of steroids after. And I don't react well with steroids. I can't sleep, I can't think. So it was either run the risk of dying and pissing my wife off or dropping the bees. So yeah, I became fascinated with bees on a trip to Russia in 2002, and then became a beekeeper in 2010, and then 2019 was supposed to be like my 10th season.
What was the fascination with bees?
The fact that you can coexist and not even realize that they were there. I was at a greenhouse in Moscow, and it was like negative 20 Celsius outside. And we're inside this huge freaking industrial warehouse where they're growing food. And they had like this trough system where these long rows of like lettuces and cucumbers and shit were all just kind of planted out. And then they had people that were just kind of doing all this stuff. And I didn't get it. I'm like, wait a minute, like, how do you do this stuff inside when it's so freaking cold? And I was like, my friends used to grow pot in college, and they had this mitten, and they would go by and they would literally stroke off the plants to move the pollen from the pistil to the stamen, right?
Right.
And I remember that being a thing that they would do. They'd either shake or they would pull. Well, I was like, I don't get this. And I went to the translator, Olga. I'm like, wait a minute, how are they pollinating? Do they have a glove? And she's like, no, the bees. And it was like this, ah! And they had like this orange-hued room, like a silo in the center of the room,
right,
where they had beehives stacked up all the way like 30 feet in the air. And they had this door that was on a timer, and it would open for the blooms. And then the bees, after time, would understand, yep, time to get done. All the watermelons have been freaking pollinated. And they would close the door, let them sit for a day or two, then open them onto the greens. And I'm like, that's freaking crazy. So I became like, that's dope. And then everywhere we went, I was in Tymyr, Russia, where it was the first place on the planet where they successfully artificially inseminated a queen bee. And me being the kid going, the translator's like, you're going to be our beekeeper.
Yeah. She would love to be.
And then she totally freaking nailed it. Like, I ended up going. And at the time, I was playing guitar for a rap group out of Chicago called Rubber Room. And I was doing these rehearsals for this huge festival we were doing in Minnesota called Soundset. And I saw this ad from Obansi, a $19 beekeeping class. I'm like, dude, and I told my sister, she said, I'll go. So she goes. She goes, you would love this guy. It's not for me, but you would totally love this guy. So instead of taking like an hour class, I took an 8-hour class. And I was like, bruh, use me. So I like immediately became this dude's free labor. I just wanted to learn. And it became like an obsession of mine, like I'm not as much a honey snob anymore because I can't get in there and taste it seasonally as it changes. Sure. But honey is just one of those things where a little bit you can sit with that flavor. You can totally dive in on how like the nuances, the different types of pollen. Like when I found out that early summer honey tastes like mint, because what's the predominant weed in these freaking, all the on the side of the road? Catmint is the predominant weed. And where my hives were. So my honey would taste a little minty in the summer. Like, what is this? And then like August honey, it's like Winnie the Pooh shit. It just tastes like what textbook definition of honey is supposed to taste like, right? But then you get into like September honey, bruh. As the trees and the leaves darken, the pollen gets more complex. And what's the predominant weed around here? Goldenrod. Goldenrod smells like sweat socks. But holy crap, does it make a crack of a honey?
Like blonde.
Yeah, but it makes it like super dark and rich. And even though it's like a yellow pollen, they're matched with all the other browns around the area. it turns into like this caramely butterscotch crack. And that's where you can end up getting a stomachache from eating literally a pound of honey, because it's like, I can't stop. I mean, it's just, so I became really, really passionate about those flavors. And then I would get like, my friend Brian Fisher, he's a Michelin star chef in Chicago. And he came out before he was a Michelin chef, because I used to have my friends help me spin honey. That shit's exhausting. So he comes out and he's all quiet. And I remember going, all right, now lick your finger. And I remember his face, because I was just with him the other day. He puts his finger in the frame, looks at me like, are you serious? And puts it in his mouth, and his whole body went relaxed, like boom. Full body goosebumps. So again, if you think that the brain and the body aren't talking,
You're wrong.
we're wrong. There is no separation between the two. Like if a taco can give me goosebumps and honey can give me freaking goosebumps, obviously the way that I feel can impact my physical health, and vice versa, right? Dude, honey was like, it was this thing that like my wife knew, like, all right, when Joel's got a hyper focus with his ADHD, you kind of got to let it go, or you're going to run the risk of, making me go in even harder, right? But these small containers of honey are still in my cabinet. And like, yeah, they crystallize, but I'll fill my whole sink up with warm water and just shake them and try to decrystallize it. Because remember, honey does not go bad. They found honey in King Tut's tomb and it was still edible. You just got to use a hot water bath to warm it up. Because once it goes sub 72 or 68 Fahrenheit, ambient room temperature dips, it's going to crystallize. That's what honey does. But it's perishable. Like, as long as you got a lid on that shit, eat it. And we like cooking with crystallized honey because it doesn't spill.
And
All right, we are back. The time is 8:37 a.m. You are listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Hope that you guys enjoyed the first half of the show. That was a great conversation that we had with our friends of the Aurora Historical Society, Ruby Sue, awesome person, John Jaros, great man. They are really great people. Don't forget their Tanner House tours by candlelight are going on Fridays and Saturdays through the entire month of October. Now, we're going to give you guys some local news, let you know what's happening out here in the fantastic city of Aurora. All right. So, first things first, we're going to start off with the Michoacan Arts Cultural Paths. This is by the Aurora Public Art Commission Gallery. It's going to be at 20 East Downer Place. That's the David O. Pierce Art and History Center. October 6th, 6 through 9 p.m. Music, food. This is going to be a fantastic event. Great sponsors like the Aurora Public Art Commission, the city, and UNAM Central Cultural Museum. So once again, it's going to be October 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, you can call 630-256-3340. The number again is 630-256-3340. Many great artists too. So come on out there. And when you go out there, let them know that you heard about it on Good Morning Aurora. All right. Next up, that's happening this weekend, is the Colombian Fest, Carnaval Colombiano de Joliet, the Joliet Colombian Carnival. It's going to be Saturday, the 20th, oh my goodness gracious. Let me sip it up. Sip it up. Norman Peterson, sip it up. Sip it up. As you guys know, when we mess it up, we sip it up, right? All right, let's try that again. It's going to be Saturday at 10 a.m. At 14021 Arbater Road in Minooka, Illinois. No fee, open to the community. There's going to be sports, live DJ, and activities for the entire family. So once again, here is the flyers. Flyers also on your screen. We've also got the flyer shared on our sister program, Buenos Dias Aurora. So you can go there, scan the QR code, and learn more about the event. It's going to be a good time. All right. Coming up next is the Java Plus Chili Cook-Off. Now, this is double the fun, right? If you can cook, you can enter. The prize is $100 for the best chili. But if you just want to eat and you don't want to cook, for $7, you can taste the chilies and you can be a voter. That's going to be Saturday, October 21st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Java Plus. Java Plus is located at 1677 Montgomery Road here in Aurora. Javier Burgos and Dan Okanowski get the shout out today. Cook and compete, $100 prize. Submit and complete the contestant application and your $25 entry fee by October 13th. The QR code, as you can see on the flyer, is still active, so go ahead and fill that out. $7 to taste and vote. Once again, Saturday, October 21st is the day for that. All right. Moving right along, the Hispanic Heritage Financial Empowerment Series. Now, this powerhouse of a series has been going on. Most recently, the last event was the Passport to Home Ownership with guests the City of Aurora and Bank of America. Next is going to be the Community Expo, open to the public with activities for children and food. That's going to be October 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Prisco Center, located at 150 West Illinois Avenue here in Aurora. For more information, you can call 331-300-3566. That number again, 331-300-3566, or contact Rhea at neighborproject.us. This is presented by Neighbor Project and Everlasting Word Church. The Hispanic Heritage Financial Empowerment Series aims to help inform and educate members of our Latino community, Hispanic community here in Aurora about the potential and the benefit of home ownership. All right. Coming up next is the DuPage Hispanic Alliance presents the Latin American Marketplace, a unique holiday shopping experience. Going to be December 16th through 17th at the Fox Valley Mall. Handcrafted gifts, arts and jewelry, Christmas ornaments, food and pastries, as well as international activities. No passports required. For more information, you can visit DuPageHispanicAlliance.com. Now, on this flyer, which we've shared on our social, is a QR code in the bottom right-hand side. You can scan that to learn more about it. The DuPage Hispanic Alliance is a fantastic organization. Nancy Juarez, Shaiska, Maria, I mean, just great people. So please come on out to the Fox Valley Mall for this December 16th and 17th, the Latin American Marketplace. All right. Alex, we're a great team. Okay, next is the Dia de los Muertos event coming once again to the Fox Valley Mall. Look at all this news. Man, I'm swimming in news. Alex, do I have to? Hold on a second. I know I got it. Here it is. Okay. October 28th is the day. This is also going to be at the Fox Valley Mall, presented by our dear friend Jose Torres and Angie Garcia. Macy's, Cass Incorporated, Zora Zapata Handcrafted, Juan Diego Rojas doing the singing. This is going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. at Fox Valley Mall. Great opportunity to come out, meet, see, and mingle with our fantastic community here in Aurora. Don't forget, it's going to be October 28th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Fox Valley Mall. Dia de los Muertos, and other music will be presented by Polo Sax. So that'll be a good one. You know what? That was yesterday. That's what we did yesterday. All right, right. Yeah, should have told you that. It's all good. That's on me. That's on me. But you know what's cool about it, Alex, right? This is a blue-collar show. So they see that we're so dedicated that every now and then we forget to take the old stuff out. Okay, Dia de los Muertos. That is coming to Chicago. Now, this is the Illinois House Latino Caucus's fundraiser, and it's going to be Thursday, November 2nd at Moe's Cantina, 155 West Kinsey Street in Chicago. Tickets and sponsorships are available. There's a lot of Dia de los Muertos events taking place all over the state. Chicago and Illinois, or excuse me, Chicago and Aurora has some great events. This is one of them. Once again, Thursday, November 2nd at Moe's Cantina, 5:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. All right. And if you like the 1980s, who doesn't like the 80s? Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Then you're going to have a lot of fun on Saturday, October 21st. The Neighbor Project is having their 80s fundraising gala at the venue, 21 South Broadway. 80s dress is welcome. There's going to be a great DJ by the name of Josue Pais, a.k.a. DJ Venom. 6 to 9 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. Come out and learn about the Neighbor Project and how they help solve the puzzle of home ownership. Games, silent auction, a really great time. So Saturday, October 21st, tickets are available and sponsorships as well. You can go to www.neighborproject.us to learn more about that. All right. Cindy Morales is here. Good morning, Cindy. And Sherry Ann Salveson, good morning to you. Maria Chirito, good morning. So many great people. Pooch Parade is coming on Sunday. Are you guys ready? Bow, wow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. Bow, wow, yippee, yo, yippee, yay. Atomic dog. Starting at 11 a.m., Pooch Parade. 100 plus canines competing in 8 categories. That's a humdinger. It's going to be at Phillips Park Sunken Garden, 1000 Ray Moses Drive here in Aurora. Pooch Parade is always a great event for the city. People get a chance to showcase Fluffy and Boxer and Donner and Blitzen. Bring them on out to the Pooch Parade and have a really good time. Looking forward to seeing some of the great wagging tails that the city of Aurora has. Okay. Next up is the Polar Bear Outing 7th Annual Marimba Players Scholarship Fundraiser. Our dear friend Gil Rios gets a shout out today as well. It's going to be Saturday, October 21st. Registration is at 11 a.m. with the shotgun start at 1 p.m. This will take place at Orchard Valley Golf Course. $125 per golfer is the price. That includes your golf cart, range balls, and fun as well. Dinner is at 6 p.m. To sponsor a hole, there's different levels. For more information, you can call 630-327-9476. That number again is 630-327-9476. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the news today. I hope that you guys enjoy the new look and feel of the show. We're trying some new things. We stay dedicated to sharing the mission of Aurora, the people of Aurora, their stories, their businesses, and what's happening in the city. We've been doing this for 3 years, so we really appreciate all of the support from our colleagues, friends of the show, elected officials, supporters, listeners, subscribers, all of you great people. The format of the show has gone through some different changes. We're going to keep trying new things out with it, and let us know what you guys think about it in the chats, or send us an email to goodmorningaurora@gmail.com. I want to give a quick thank you right now to a couple of people who've been a really good help and inspiration as we've been doing the show. The first person is Nick Thompson. Thanks, Nick, for all his guidance and everything that he's provided to the show in regards to advice, ideas, and just best practices too. You know, what you think you know and what you think you can do may not be applicable if you're trying to go certain places and do certain things. So it's always good to remain grounded in reality. And thanks very much, Nick, for that. Other person I'd like to thank right now is Tracy Duran. Tracy Duran has been a really good friend of the show. You know, the history of Aurora is very deep and robust. There's a lot going on in the city, and when it comes to like capturing the story of what other people have been through and what their lives are like and what they've experienced, I've tried to do that through questioning people. I've tried to do that through interviewing people, providing a space for them to share what they've been through, what they're doing now, or what they're going to do here on the show. But Tracy Duran's been doing that in a couple other different mediums, capturing the story of Aurora and sharing it with other people like me. So I want to say thank you very much. And also, this desk piece right here came from Tracy Duran. And we've kept it with us in the growth of our show. And we're going to keep it with us forever. I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend, a blessed weekend, a safe weekend, and a positive weekend. Good Morning Aurora will return on Monday morning with more news, more weather, and the very best of Aurora. Be blessed. Take care of yourself and each other.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.